A diver was preparing to return to shore when a massive cloud of silt suddenly poured down around him. Visibility dropped to less than half a meter. Trapped in the cramped space, he thrashed around blindly, stirring up even more sediment until visibility fell to zero. In the middle of his panic, he spotted an opening and mistook it for the exit, desperately forcing his way inside. But he pushed too hard and became wedged in place, unable to move. After all the struggle, his air supply was nearly gone. In fact, Lisa was not far away in another section of the passage, desperately searching for Jack as well. But the visibility was so poor that she became too frightened to keep moving forward. Looking at the clouds of silt in the water and seeing that Jack never appeared, she believed the cave had collapsed and buried him inside. She decided to turn back. Since she was still inside the narrow passage, she was able to determine the correct direction fairly quickly. Once she returned to an area only 3 or 4 meters deep, the space became larger, the amount of silt decreased, and visibility improved significantly. Lisa did not stop. She swam quickly toward the entrance and eventually made it back to shore, where she immediately called the police. Jack still refused to give up and continued fighting for his life. After realizing he could not free himself, he made a bold decision: abandon his equipment and swim out while holding his breath. He took a deep breath and rapidly swam upward toward the exit. 4 freediving enthusiasts diving to 148 feet on a single breath and returning to the surface is not especially difficult, and no decompression stops are required along the way. Because free diving does not involve continuous gas exchange, almost no inert gas builds up inside the body. But Jack's situation was completely different. Although he was also ascending while holding his breath, he had remained at a depth of 45 meters for quite some time, breathing compressed air at the equivalent of 5.5 atmospheres of pressure. After spending several minutes at that depth, a large amount of nitrogen had already dissolved into his blood and body tissues. If a diver ascends rapidly without proper decompression, the falling water pressure causes the nitrogen inside the body to form bubbles violently, like a shaken bottle of soda suddenly open. These bubbles can damage the joints, lungs, and nervous system. This condition is known as decompression sickness. By the time Jack reached the main chamber, he could no longer hold on. He became dizzy, lost consciousness, and ultimately died there. At that point, he most likely could already see the light from the cave entrance. Less than an hour after Lisa called the police, rescue divers arrived at the site. They found Jack's body near the ceiling of the main chamber and later descended to 45 meters to recover his diving equipment. Based on the condition of the equipment and the data from his dive computer, investigators reconstructed the sequence of events. A medical examiner later confirmed that the cause of death was pulmonary gas embolism. Gas bubbles had entered his blood